I get it. There's a lot that we can be saddened and frustrated by, especially right now. So I thought in this week's podcast, I would randomly select 37 things that I'm grateful for. Let's start with YouTube. I'm grateful that YouTube exists, as much as I would like to complain with the rest of you about YouTube's algorithms and subscriptions falling off and all the cheesy thumbnails that us YouTubers create. Having a platform where I can engage and interact with you, as I'm doing right here in this video, or you may be on the audio version because this is a podcast, is just amazing. For those that were around in the early days of the internet in the 90s and the early 2000s, being able to host and share any sort of files, especially video files, was almost impossible. Whereas now, through the power of YouTube and technology, we can actually share that out. So yes, YouTube has got its challenges and it does make life difficult sometimes, but on the whole, it's a pretty amazing platform when you stop and think about it. Number two, home recording in general. I used to think about, wouldn't it be great if I could record an album or even just record a song? And back in the day, you would have to go to a studio and pay for time and have an engineer and get it all done professionally. What can we do now? We can all sit down here in our bedroom studios, in our home studios, and we can record. And look, a shameless self-promotion, but you can, of course, check out all the tutorials about home recording right here on Studio Live Today. By the way, this is the Studio Live Today podcast. My name is Pete Johns. I thought we should just dive straight into it here today. Number three, microphones. I'm grateful for microphones, and more importantly, microphones like this one. The fact that we can get a cheap microphone. This is the AKG D5 microphone. As we go through here, I'm going to show you a few things on the screen if you're playing along at home. So if we jump over here to Amazon.com, we've got so many great microphones. Let's go to the Audio Technica AT2020. This is a mainstay of a microphone that has been $100 for the longest time. I own one. I recommend it. You can also get Shure SM58, SM57. There's a bunch of microphones. But the cool thing is you don't have to spend a fortune in order to have quality gear. You can actually get started and do that home recording with the gear without spending a fortune. And you can go to my gear guide. In fact, that's where I should have gone to start with, is studiolivetoday.com/gear. Man, I'm glad I learned to touch type. There you go. There's the 38th one that I know how to touch type. So you can go to the gear guide, and that has links to all of the gear that I use here in the home studio. Number four, while we're talking about the gear, is audio interfaces. I love my Steinberg UR22C, although it's been superseded now. Let's see if it's updated if we jump over to Sweetwater and check it out here. There's a new version here. Yeah, here it is, the IXO22. So it's got very similar features. It's the same as the UR22C that I used to use and love and recommend, but it's just got a little bit of a facelift. It's a nice black design now, so it's looking a little bit more schmick or slick there. But the fact that we can plug in microphones and guitars into an audio interface, plug that into a USB port or adapt it into a Lightning port or USB-C port and just record high quality, it's amazing. Again, for those of us that use tape decks back in the day, or 4-track recorders, or analog gear, or in the early days of digital when you were getting really dodgy, like 16-bit audio that was crunchy and had really bad noise floor, yeah, the fact that for under $200 you can get yourself like such a high-level audio interface is pretty amazing. And this audio interface, and many of them now, are USB-C, and I'm thankful for USB-C. USB Type-C has been a game changer across everything, across iPhones, across iPads, across our computers and our devices, because there didn't used to be that. USB-A's been around for a while, but USB-A is very slow. The fact that we now have USB-C for all of our gear, it means that when you're charging things or when you're connecting things or when you're carrying things around, you only have to carry one type of cable. Everything can be USB-C. If you've been with me through the Lightning years, you'd know about this sort of stuff, or USB-A or B or mini USB or micro USB. Yeah, look, some of us have still got some of that older gear hanging around the studio, but for the most part, USB-C has taken over the world. Number six, something I need right now because I was about to have a cough, is coffee. Yes. I'm grateful for coffee, and more importantly, I'm grateful for my coffee machine. In fact, let's take a look at it. I wonder if I can remember how to spell it. I own the Delonghi Magnifica branded. That you can see some of them here on your screen. I can't remember which one I have, so it's one of these, but it's a push. It's that one. It's similar to that one. It's a push button coffee machine, and I got to tell you, being able to wake up in the morning and press a button and get my coffee and not have to grind beans or not have to tamp down things, it sounds like a small thing, but you know who shouldn't be given the job of making a complicated coffee? People who haven't had a coffee yet. So I love my coffee machine. It's one of the best things I've ever bought. If you're in the market for a coffee machine, check out the Delonghi Magnifica. It's as Magnifica as it sounds. Number 7, I love the fact that we can get these cool little adapters. I use this Ugreen USB-C adapter. This adapts USB-C and it gives me 3 USB-A ports. So for the times where you do need those USB-A, these little adapters are super cheap. They're like $20. They're really rock solid. And they do a really good job of being able to convert your stuff. So if you're on the gear guide, if you scroll down, you'll find these here. There's Atola ones, there's Ugreen ones. I've got a whole bunch of them listed there. Here's this Atola USB-C adapter that I'm going to show you here. Again, apologies for those on the audio version, but if you watch the video version, you'll see me showing some of the stuff on the screen as we go through. So there it is. That's the littler version of something like this. So if you need to connect your stuff to your other stuff, you got options. Strings. I'm going to reach into my bottom drawer. Don't mind me. I love Elixir Strings. I use, and Pete Johns uses and recommends Elixir guitar strings. So if you're in the market for some guitar strings, we'll go to Sweetwater here and type in Elixir. Once again, go via the gear guide if you'd like to. They will break off a chunk and send it my way. But yeah, Elixir strings, they're not as cheap as all the other strings, but especially for your acoustic guitars, the Nano Web, you can get the Phosphor Bronze or the Phosphor ones. They're all really good. I use a slightly lighter gauge than this, the extra light, I think. Yep, the 1152. They've got the 1253 on the screen there. But they are just a great string. And again, I'm a guitar player. I like my strings. I like quality strings. Number 9, while we're on the topic, thank you to Jim Dunlop for their Tortex 0.6mm, the orange one. So if I search Jim Dunlop Tortex, you can buy them. They're cheap, and I buy and buy the box full because picks seem to just disappear all the time, and now I can't find them here. No, I can't find them here, but you can find them. You know where to go online to buy your picks. Yeah, they're just not showing them here. But yeah, go ahead and buy yourself. Oh, there's price drop on these nylon picks. Anyone use a nylon pick? I don't. I just use the plain plastic ones. But guitar picks, I don't know. Everyone has their favorites. I like the Jim Dunlop, the Tortex ones. Number 10, something that's never far from me, is my guitar. Yes, my Taylor acoustic. This is the cheapest, pretty much the cheapest acoustic guitar that Taylor actually make. Once again, if you go to my gear guide, you'll see it here. There it is, guitar, Taylor. It's the 110E Dreadnought, like classic sort of shape, except it doesn't have the cutout. And people are like, oh, don't you miss that? I'm like, not if you know how I play. I'm not up on the high notes very often. I'm usually strumming away down in the bottom 5 frets. So it's not something that's a big problem for me. But yeah, you can get cutout versions of them as well. But yeah, from as little as like $600, $700, $800, you can pick yourself up a very nice Taylor acoustic. And look, this wasn't supposed to be a sales job. This is really, the reason I wanted to do this is I was feeling a little bit bad for various reasons yesterday, and I thought, what am I going to do the podcast on? So I just randomly wrote down, this is why the order is going to be all frenetic and all over the place. I randomly wrote down 37 different things, and we're only at number 10. Let's go to number 11. I love USB power banks. I'm a bit addicted to buying USB power banks. The one that I've been using for the longest time is this Romos. I've been using Romos power banks quite a bit. I've tried a different brand at the moment, but I love these big chunkers. 20,000 milliamps on this thing. It's got 2 USB-A, it's got USB-C that you can charge. It's even got a micro USB in there. Yeah, it's in my backpack all the time. It goes with me everywhere I go, and I've always got enough juice for my iPad and my phone to be recharged multiple times with this one. The one I've got recently is a Xyron brand that I'm trying, and the cool thing about this one is it's got cables built right into the back. I bought one for my daughter, and she loves it because she doesn't remember to bring stuff with her, but if she can take her power bank and it has the Lightning and the USB-C and USB-A cables all dangling off of it, and you can securely just stick them into the back there again afterwards, and that goes in her school bag, and she's good to go. So I do love me some good power banks. You know what else I love? I love Canva.com. Yeah, I create a lot of thumbnails and I'm not a graphic designer, but Canva.com, it's about $10 a month and it's just a really quick and easy way to create all of the thumbnails and all of the album artwork and all the graphic stuff that I do. So if you're like me, you're a little bit challenged in the world of creating visual stuff, Canva.com. The free version's good, the paid version's great. I'm thankful for ice hockey. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big sports fan, and weirdly, for someone who lives in Adelaide, South Australia, I love ice hockey. I'm a New York Rangers fan primarily, but I also support the Las Vegas Golden Knights, which is the cap that I've just placed on my head for those on the audio version that don't know. But I love me some hockey, and it's important because as much as I love doing things like putting together giant guides of audio gear here on the Gear Guide, I need breaks away from that. And I think it's really important that you have hobbies that are outside of the world. Like, yes, I love listening to music too and playing music, even when I'm not working on music, but I especially love a bit of escapism and watching a bit of hockey. I also love the cricket. So if you don't know about cricket, cricket is an amazing Australian sport. So if you go to cricket.com.au, yeah, there's cricket. And I went to a cricket game yesterday. I'm going to the cricket again tomorrow. It's my way of getting out and about again. And especially because it's an outdoor game, it's over summer. It's just, it's escapism for me. I love me a bit of cricket. So number 14 goes to cricket. Number 15 is Songtember. Yeah, in fact, even though it's about as far from Songtember as you can possibly get, I'm still kind of super encouraged and enthused by how amazing all of your Songtember 2024 songs were. If you're not familiar with Songtember, it's our Song in a Month challenge that we do here on Studio Live today. And if you want to join in or if you want to see what's happened in previous Songtembers, you can check it out at studiolivetoday.com/Songtember. We had a big Your Music live show at the end, 2 of them in fact, and a lot of the music that came out of that is amazing. Go listen to Thomas Crust's Nuclear Football. Great song. A little bit too relevant right now. Number 16 is live streaming. I'm using a live streaming app right now called StreamYard to pre-record this. And I'm moving into a new app called Ecamm Live. The fact that I can live stream, and this podcast is pre-recorded, but we do lots of live shows around here, Your Music Live, GarageBand Weekly, The Happy Hour. So I do live shows every week. And just having the interaction, like being able to interact directly with an audience. In fact, I should bring up something relevant. If you go to Studio Live today, I can't type in my own spelling, studiolivetoday.com/live, it will bring up all the latest live shows. So you can see I'm about to update that with this week's live shows. They're all of last week's live shows. This will be the first live, because it's pre-recorded, but it's premiered live show of this weekend. So if you're ever wondering, hey, is John's live or when's John's going to be live next, studiolivetoday.com/live. Number 17. So yeah, we're coming towards the halfway mark here. Is an app called Wise. It used to be called TransferWise, and I got to recommend this because if you're transferring money from one place to another, or if, like me, you get paid in different currencies. For instance, if you go to the Gear Guide that I'm showing here and you buy something through Amazon or Sweetwater or eBay or Thomann, depending on the company and where they are, like Amazon's across the US, Canada, Australia, the UK, Europe. If I'm getting affiliate sales from those, I might get in a month, I might get $200 US, I might get $50 Canadian, I might get 30 euros, and I might get 20 Great British pounds paid in commissions. How do I manage all of that? Well, I use an app called Wise or TransferWise. You can check the description of this video if you're watching the video version if you want to check it out. But if you do anything, I used to have to get checks sent to me from Amazon. And did you know how much my bank charged me to process a check? It was $20. And then it had to convert it from US dollars to Australian dollars. So I get a $50 check. It's almost not worth banking it because I only get half of that. So having the ability to transfer money is really cool. And I was just thinking about that today as I got my Patreon money. Maybe we'll talk about Patreon a little bit later. Next up is Adelaide. I live here in the wonderful city of Adelaide. I support the Adelaide Strikers and the Adelaide Crows football team. Adelaide is wonderful. Let's get some pictures of Adelaide going on here for those on the video version. Adelaide Riverfront. So if I type in Adelaide Riverfront, and the riverbank is what I probably should have typed there, but this is Adelaide. This is where I hang out. This is what we got going on here in Adelaide. The Torrens River, the Adelaide Oval, the exhibition centre there. It's just a wonderful place to be, and I'm really grateful that I get to live here. Look, and I know people live in places, and you might say, my place is the best in the world. My place is the best in the world. Or maybe you don't love where you live, and maybe you're looking to move to somewhere else. Some people have been telling me that. People have been saying lately that maybe they might want to move to somewhere else. But Adelaide is a wonderful place. So, yeah, come visit Adelaide, I guess. Number 19, messaging apps. I love the fact that we can message each other. Now, I'm terrible at instant messages. So people say to me, Johns, I sent you an Instagram direct message 4 hours ago and you haven't responded. I'm like, 4 hours? There's people that send me messages 4 days and 4 weeks ago and I haven't responded. So I'm not great, but I love the fact that we can for free. Again, where are my old people at? For free. Remember phone calls? Remember paying for stamps? Pre-email and pre-instant messaging, we had to pay to communicate with people. And now you can fire up your favorite messaging app. You can fire up WhatsApp. You can fire up Facebook Messenger or iMessage, and you can message with people. And it makes it really good for things like collaborations. Yeah, let's talk collaborations, because I love the fact that in 2024, and coming into 2025, we can collaborate with folks. I collaborated on my Songtember song called Learn. I did 2 versions of this. The first version is the one that I recorded, and that one has me, but it also has Mars Capone, one of our wonderful community members and Patreon members, on bass, and it has Jade Starr on drums, and Jade did the mastering. And then Mars Capone goes and does his own remix of the song, which I released on the same album as well, on the little 2-sider. What do you call that? We used to be a single. We used to have a B-side. So the B-side of that one has Mars Capone's song, which is super cool that we can collaborate with folks. We can do it so easily here in 2024. Number 21, you knew this was coming, didn't you? It's iPads. I love iPads. I use iPads for an awful lot, and I have a lot to be grateful for iPads, because if it wasn't for iPads, I probably wouldn't have a channel. The reason being that when I first started doing this, the main reason I started doing this is because I couldn't find a lot of tutorials showing how to create music on your iPhone or your iPad. So I started making them. So I started doing GarageBand tutorials and music memos tutorials and all the apps and the plugins and the add-ons. And that was in 2016. And now in 2024, more than 3,000 videos later, I'm still doing it. And the iPad has been an absolute central, pivotal part of everything that I do around here. So I'm very thankful to iPads. Number 22 is pretty related, and that is GarageBand. Because of course it is. Yeah, GarageBand is the app that I used. And in fact, if you go to, I've got lots of links going on here, studiolivetoday.com/GarageBand. It's kind of what I'm known for. I'm not the GarageBand guy or the GarageBand guy. That's our mate Patrick. But I've got an FAQ here, all the GarageBand information. I've done countless videos on GarageBand, more than 1,000 of them. I've got my GarageBand 5-minute tip series. I've got my GarageBand Essentials series. I'm part of the GarageBand users Facebook group. GarageBand has definitely been a pivotal part of my experience here. So number 22, GarageBand. Number 23, Apple. Not the fruit, the company. And you might be thinking, wow, Johns, you really have drunk the Kool-Aid. You've put Apple on your list of things to be grateful for. Why is that? Well, Apple are one of the few companies in the last 4 years who are continually developing great products and whose prices haven't gone through the roof. And I think that that's a little bit underrated. They also, for all their additional superlatives that they use, and they're a very unique company, they're actually successful because they're passionate about creating good products, and they're passionate about what they do. You can hear it, you can sort of sense it when you watch the presentations. And as much as they're not the cheapest things in the world to buy Apple products, since I moved to Apple products, it has definitely been a life improvement. I know that sounds a little bit wanky, and I apologize, but it has been a quality of life improvement moving to Apple products because all my stuff talks to all my other stuff now. My iPhones, my iPads, my Macs, everything is just integrated. And it means that for me, I can go to the cricket, I can go watch a hockey game. And if I take my iPhone with me, I've got everything in my iCloud drive and I've got everything that I need to keep getting done what I need to get done. All right, I'm going to close down some of these tabs because it's getting a bit pandemonious here. Is that a word? Pandemonious? It is now. We've added a word to the vocabulary. Good stuff, me. We'll go back to studiolive.com. Number 24 is my AirPods Pro. They should be in my pocket because they almost always are. I won't open them because one of the things I don't love about the AirPods Pro is that when you're switching between devices, sometimes it'll be like, oh, I notice you're near your Mac. How would you like to hear your audio through this? And I know there's settings in there that I need to play with, and I have, and then I get a new pair, and then I forget to do it again. But my AirPods Pro have been a bit of a game changer. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of YouTube videos and music when I'm on the go. Just having this in my pocket, battery lasts all day, quality is amazing, has noise cancelling. Yes, it's not cheap. These are $400 Australian, but worth it, in my opinion. I used to use wired headphones and I used to use other sort of wireless headphones that had the cord around the back. Yeah, since I moved to these ones, I've kind of never looked back. So AirPods Pro are awesome. Do I have them on the gear guide? I should. Let's jump on over to the gear guide and see if we've got those on here. Headphones, mobile. I do. Look at that. I do have them on there. Hooray. Good job, me. Let's move to number 25, and that is DistroKid. So, if you told me even 10 years ago, but especially 20 and 30 years ago, that I would have released nearly 50 separate releases, EPs, albums, singles, and they're on Spotify and Apple Music. I mean, I wouldn't have known what Spotify and Apple Music were, but that they were on these places where people could go. Anyone can go to all these places and they can listen to my music, and my music can be up there next to Foo Fighters and Chili Willies and Nirvana. I would have thought you were insane. I didn't see the music distribution and streaming revolution coming. I don't think anyone did. But now that it's here, I'm just so grateful that we can actually release our music with DistroKid. Now, full disclosure, DistroKid are a sponsor of this channel, and they do sponsor my weekly Your Music Live show. So I guess I'm double grateful for them because I was using them before they started sponsoring. So I've been using them since 2017, since very early in my creation journey. And now they are a sponsor of the channel. But I just love the fact that we can get our music and get so much music out there to the world, and that it's removed that barrier of entry. A bit like the home recording stuff, it's removed the barrier of entry for being able to get things out there to the world. Related to that is slaps.com. I think we can get to it directly from here. If we go to Get Heard, yeah, we can go to slaps.com. So slaps.com, think SoundCloud back when it was a little bit less cluttered. So SoundCloud is fine, right? SoundCloud, if you don't know, is a music sharing platform where you can upload your songs and other people listen to them. But SoundCloud tried to add a whole bunch of stuff and premium features, and in my humble opinion, they kind of lost a little bit of what made them unique and cool to begin with. However, there's now slaps.com. So this is a great place to share your music, and it's 100% free. A little bit ridiculous that we have things like this that don't cost anything. And look, is it so that you enjoy and you get in the ecosystem and then maybe you sign up to DistroKid and release your music? Sure. But that's a good thing, in my opinion. Number 27, Logic Pro. Yes, I famously went on record saying, there's never going to be Logic Pro on the iPad, there isn't. And then literally a few months later, Apple announced, Logic Pro is coming to the iPad. And since then, I've started creating a lot of videos about Logic Pro. So I have plenty of videos here about GarageBand, but on the YouTube channel now, there's an awful lot. In fact, if you go to the front page right now, it gives you the beginner's guide to Logic Pro for iPad. So that's still my kind of flagship leading video that I put out there, and nearly 75,000 views on that one from a year ago. Logic Pro has not been out for that long. But look, there's Logic Pro on the Mac, of course, as well. I never really got into producing on the Mac. I've only owned a Mac since 2020, but I've been using iPads for a long time, since the start of this channel and well before that. So Logic Pro is a cool thing. I mentioned about iPads, and of course, there's iPhones as well. So yes, I use iPhone and I have used iPhone for a long time. It's with me all the time. It's got all the stuff that I need in here. I've made songs by recording voice memos and then putting them into GarageBand on my phone and then coming to the studio and putting it into Logic Pro. That's how I did my last Songtember song called Learn. Having an iPhone, and look, do I talk to many people? Do I use it as a phone? Not very much. But I love the fact that it's all integrated, all within the ecosystem. And yeah, my cupboard's a little embarrassing because there are so many little white boxes there from all the previous iPhones that I've owned. I've discovered something new, and someone's going to tell me immediately when I show you this that those things are terrible for your devices and don't use them. But since I changed to these, I don't leave home without one of these suckers, which is a USB-A to micro USB-C and Lightning. So this now means that if I've got my older gear, I've got a second phone that I take with me that uses Lightning, that's got that one covered. I've got a few devices like old USB microphones and things that use USB micro, so that's got that covered, and USB-C on this as well. And it also means that I'm the friendliest guy when I'm at the cricket and someone's like, "Oh, I haven't charged my phone." I can no longer do I have to say, "Oh, you've got Android? Oh, I'm sorry, I've only got Lightning." Or, "Oh, you got an old iPhone? Oh, sorry, I've only got USB-C." I just pull this cable out and I hand it to them along with a big chunky charger, and I say, "You're welcome. Just call me the power guy." And they're like, "I'm not going to do that. That's really creepy." And I said, "Fair call. Thank you." So that's a new thing for me. Number 30, Velcro wrap. Yep, who likes the sound of Velcro? Yeah, I don't like it that much. But this stuff is ridiculously cool. I think it's on my gear guide under like miscellaneous accessories down all the way down here. But I've done whole videos on this before as well. And yeah, it is just the best stuff. Have we got it here? I'm trying to find it here. But I've got right down at the bottom. Maybe I don't. But if you go to YouTube and you type in Pete Johns Velcro, I bet you we find a video about it. Yeah, there it is. Messy cables, sorted. So Velcro One Wrap are the specific ones that I use. And yeah, that was my, for those watching the video, you're seeing my short sleeve t-shirt over long sleeve t-shirt era. Don't ask. It was a weird time, the early 2020s. No, the late 20 teens. I don't know. Anyway, check this out. Check out the Velcro wrap because it's super cool. Number 31 is YouTube Premium, dude. Premium. Dude. Because YouTube Premium is the best. And I went from paying $17.99 a month for YouTube Premium to paying $32.99 a month for YouTube Premium for my whole family. And that's a big increase. But apparently I was grandfathered in and they were undercharging me for a long time. Anyway, what does YouTube Premium do? It means that you don't have to watch ads like this one. Imagine if I put an ad there. I might go back and do it. You don't have to watch ads on YouTube, which is just a game changer. You haven't watched YouTube until you've watched it ad-free. Thank you so much to those who don't use ad blockers and who do watch the ads, because I appreciate you. If you don't want to spend the $20, $30 a month and you watch the ads, or even if you skip the ads, that's cool. You are still supporting creators like me. But please don't use ad blockers, at least not for small creators. If you're watching Mr. Beast, he doesn't need it, but we sure do. Okay. But yeah, YouTube Premium is great. And what people don't realize is you also get YouTube Music included. So there's people I know that use Spotify and they're paying almost as much for their Spotify as they would for YouTube Premium, which gives you YouTube Music. It used to be called Google Music. Now it's YouTube Music. So YouTube Music and then YouTube Premium. Also used to be called YouTube Red. Anyone has been a subscriber ever since the Red days? I have. All right, a few more little practical things. My monitor. So I had the Apple Studio Display. It was on loan. It was on loan from Apple. And when I had to give it back, I looked at the price here and it was $1,699. So instead of buying that, I bought myself one of the LG Ultra Fine Ultra HD displays. I'm showing on screen the 27-inch. I've actually got the 32-inch. And I got the one with the Ergo design. So in fact, this is the one I have here right now. So I'm going to click on this one. It has this stand that is completely adjustable, tiltable, panable, well, not really zoomable, and you can even flip it on its side. It's ridiculous. So I highly recommend, if you're in the market for a new monitor, you don't want to spend a fortune, but you want something quality that's going to be better than just, your bog standard Asus or Acer monitors. The LG ultra fine displays are actually really good. I own one, and I'm saving up at the moment to buy a second one because they're that good. I'm picturing just having two that I can just zoom, 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 move around, move up, down, and just fly around on those cool arms as well. Number 33 is the Create, Record, Release Facebook group. I'm not going to show too much here because it's actually a private group. But you can jump in here. You can join this. Anyone can become a member. And I know Facebook, I get it. Not a lot of people, well, not a lot of people love Facebook. A lot of us tolerate Facebook, and many more don't want to use Facebook at all. They think it's bad and toxic and whatever. My recommendation is use it. It's free. Use it for what you want to. Protect all your data. Set your security settings so that you're not getting random invites from strangers, but then come and join us because there's an awful lot of cool stuff that goes on here in the community. Like I said, I can't show you too much in there because it's a private community. And that means it's great for sharing your music, for sharing your ideas, for sharing tidbits of information from other folks. So jump in, Create, Record, Release Facebook group. I think you can still go to createrecordrelease.com. Give it a try, or just search in Facebook, Create, Record, Release Facebook group. Number 34. It's you. Yeah, it's you. It's Studio Live Today viewers, because if you have come to the channel and you're one of the now 145,000 people that have subscribed and more than 1 million people that have viewed a Studio Live Today video, then you're awesome. And I thank you. I find it amazing. I'm actually blown away every time look, I'm not much into the numbers. I was before, I'll be very honest. I was, and I'm like, yay, subscriber numbers, view counts, etc. And now I realize that they're just all vanity metrics. And the most important thing is engaging with you. Yes, you, the viewer. You are the most important thing. As I always say, it is not MeTube, it's YouTube. Yes, it's lame, but it's what I think. Number 35. Related to the channel are my wonderful moderators. I'm going to forget a whole bunch of people, but you know who you are. Thomas Christ, Jade Star, Leela, Mark, who we've just added there, Aramasaya. There's a bunch of folks who who look after the channel, who get paid millions of dollars. No, not really. Get paid no dollars, but they put their heart and soul into helping the community. And again, I'm a little baffled as to why they do it sometimes, but they do it out of the goodness of their hearts. They do it because they can see what we're trying to create here with this community. They can see that I'm actually a real human and I'm genuinely passionate about my mantra, which is create, record, release. Recording made simple. I want to keep it simple, and I want to help you make your best music. And they're behind me on that. Patreon members as well. That's number 36. We're nearly there. Patreon members. You guys are awesome. And I didn't put it here, but channel members. So those of you who are channel members here on YouTube, we now have a membership that you can join. And we've got, this is what it looks like to members. We've got, it hovers around 100 members, and we've got around about 70 patrons. So there's a lot of ways that you can get involved and interact with me and with the community. And it's just cool because you're supporting me not only through watching and not only through being part of the community, but at the end of the day, I do have to keep the lights on. I do have to pay the bills. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And 37, and you saw part of my family as I scrolled down here. I saw a video of me and my lovely wife. Now I can't find it, but my family. So my family allow me to do this. They help me get out. Oh, by the way, bonus one, all these people, all these other great creators. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Maybe I'll do a gratitude of creators in the future. But it's my family and my friends who keep me grounded, but who don't inflate my ego, but who give me the ability to actually do what I do here, to create the channel, to spend time. Yes, Dad has to do some recording. It's like, it's a very common phrase. And it's like, sorry, kids, you right for the next hour? I'm going to go do some recording. Or I'm doing a show, or I'm doing a live stream. And it is good because my wife, Georgie, and my two kids, they appreciate it, and they leave me alone and give me the time I need to do this. And then they understand and appreciate that after I've sat for 2-3 hours talking to a screen to people that are real but not real because they're in different parts of the world, that I also then need a little bit of time out. So it is much appreciated. To have a good family is highly underrated, I think. Well, maybe not. Maybe everyone appreciates their family, but thank you to my family. Thank you to my friends. Thank you to all of you for being here on this one. I wanted to just put some happiness out into the world, put some gratitude out into the world, because I think there's enough negativity with a lot of other things happening at the moment, and I'm trying to be for things, not again things. I went and saw Tim Minchin. I'll finish with this little story. I went and saw Tim Minchin. He's got a new book out, which you should go and check out. Tim Minchin, he's a great creator. He writes musicals. He's a musician. He's a comedian. He's one of those people, one of those really annoying buggers who's just everything he does he's really good at. Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't like to start painting like works of art. But anyway, and he talks about the fact that he went down a spiral where he was very anti things. His personality was built around him being against things. And he realized that what he wanted to do was flip that around and be for things. And how this relates to me is when I started my channel, I was looking around and I saw channels. I don't have to name them here, but you know that there's some music instruction channels that are fairly negative, that are anti things. 10 reasons why this sucks. 10 reasons why this is snake oil. Reasons why I'm grumpy and why I'm not allowed to do educational music videos because people keep copyright striking me. Yeah, I could have gone down that route, but I didn't. I flipped it around and I looked at folks like Joe Gilder. I looked at folks like Why Logic Pro Rules and Music Tech Help Guy. And I decided I wanted to just be pro things. I wanted to be pro GarageBand. I wanted to be pro creator. I wanted to be all about helping folks create, record, and release their best music. Could I pick apart every bad feature? And have I done the occasional video where I'm like, here's 10 features that GarageBand need to change? Yes, of course. You can't be 100% positive all the time. That wouldn't be unrealistic. But being pro something, it's just flipping that mindset around and being for something instead of against something. It can often be the same exact thing. So instead of being like, oh man, I'm anti-PC now because I use a Mac. No, I love PC users. And if you want to use PC, more power to you. Again, what adult humans are doing that doesn't impact anyone else negatively is entirely up to them. Really doesn't have anything to do with me. None of my business. But yeah, I just wanted to finish on that note that I think for many of us, yeah, there's lots of negative things that we can point to and that we can look at, that we can think about, we can talk about. But there's so much to be grateful for. There are so many cool things. I often say we live in the future and there's 37 things and people and platforms that just make me happy on the daily. So I hope there was at least one of these things that you went, oh, I didn't know about that, or, oh yeah, I'm grateful for that too. And I hope it gives you a little bit of a smile and a little bit more of a spring in your step today and this week. So thanks for watching or listening to the Studio Live Today podcast. My name's Pete Johns. Please, folks, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, keep creating. And I'll see you next time right here on the Studio Live Today podcast. Bye for now.